He's one of the few people that actually believes that she's natural.
Well, he's like, we've trained together several times, so he's like, I mean, the way I train, like if anyone watches videos,
it's
like
exhausting.
I would have been on stage with Iris Kyle if I was on anything. Like
Right.
I would have blew up.
What's up, guys? Derek, moreplaysmartdates.com. Today we're going to be talking about Dana Linn Bailey, also known as Day Nux, apparently. Reason being, she posted a Instagram story saying, "Are you natty? Let's do it again. Questions. Are you natty?" Somebody asked one of the most prevalent, thought-provoking questions of all time. And she says, 100%, all 130 pounds of me. 2 exclamation points. This is 17 years of consistent training and diet. I've also been an athlete since I was 5 years old and went into play college soccer. You need to be very consistent, very patient because it takes time. All my females out there, do not go for the quick results. It's not worth it for all the side effects that you live with for the rest of your life. So Physique looking pretty fucking mean. If you don't know, she's a former Miss Olympia. At the time was one of the biggest female stars on the planet. Although when she first got into this stuff, she was not as idolized as she became later. Now she's seen as a role model for women. You know, she's a very strong, you know, figure that's not seen as the traditional like Barbie doll kind of chick. She actually, you know, portrays the, you know, fitness lifestyle in a way that makes you, I don't know how to explain it. Like she's just like, you know, like a badass chick. She's not, you know, the standard fucking torque your ass, you know, bang energy kind of chick. She has a great physique, great muscular development, has accomplishments under her belt that, you know, people can only dream of, has great genetics, and, you know, portrays a like strong women image. You know what I'm trying to fucking say? Like, I don't know how to put it into words, but you know what I mean. So anyways, she made a recent post too, talking about how 8 years ago today, she had just won the first ever Olympia for women's physique. Well, maybe it wasn't figure, or did she compete in figure too? Anyways, she won the Olympia, not for bikini. Not one magazine wanted to feature an article with me. Not one photographer wanted to shoot with me. They were only interested in, I'm fucking butchering this, bro. They were not interested in women like me, only interested in the men and the bikini girls. So it has everyone's in the gym getting photos taken. Okay, it's not just me fucking up. So it has everyone's in the gym getting photos taken and their makeup fixed. What did I do? I trained. Thanks Mike Rashid for training with me for that day. We had the filthiest shoulder workout there ever was. That was a good day. Sounds like a fucking fairy tale, bro. Or some legend you tell your children. We had the filthiest shoulder workout there ever was. 'Twas the night before Christmas. That was a good day. The following Olympia, everything changed. What? The following Olympia, everything changed. ... Stay true to yourself and the rest of the world will finally catch up. Champ, so dope and inspiring. Heart times 5. Epic day, good times. Get some insane body and heart. Clap times 2. Some of us knew we were watching greatness. The others finally realized it at the You're an inspiration to us all. You're the reason I wanted to compete to begin with. Even though I'm a bikini girl, keep being you. Fucking hands up. Fire emoji. So anyways, obviously a role model to many women out there. That's great. She inspires a lot of chicks to get in the gym, to not be ashamed of, you know, their physiques and, you know, to chase, you know, whatever their dreams are when it comes to this fitness shit. I don't say that condescendingly. That's just like how I talk, this fitness shit. But anyways, she's come under a lot of scrutiny over the years for her natty claims, and they go pretty fucking far back. And she's a very, very like lifelong cemented, like no deviating from the fucking statement. I'm fucking full blown natty, and the rest of you haters can like eat my ass. Like it's pretty much what she fucking says in not so many words. Like I don't know how aggressive she is with all of her, you know, rebuttals, but she often addresses it and basically says like, nope, fucking natty. Even when I competed at the Olympia. And you know, a lot of people are quick to say bullshit, and she has sort of gained a reputation similar to like a Ulysses or like a Simian Panda. She's like, I don't know, she's like the Ulysses of fucking women, for example. Like she's like from that era, kind of like the aesthetic, you know, hype female equivalent of like, I don't know, like a Sergi, of a fucking Simeon, of a Ulysses. However, you know, Sergi doesn't claim natty as far as I know, whereas, you know, Ulysses and Simeon have claimed Natty since day one, and I guess they were around in an era where claiming you were Natty was just the fucking thing you did. And nowadays, people are more transparent, and they basically doubled down on their claims, and they're kind of fucked at this point because they're in such a deep Natty hole that if they come out now and say, I'm not, it's like a fucking decade of lying under their belt. It's pretty much like fucking Lance Armstrong at this point. So anyways, Dana Linn Bailey, prominent Natty claimer. A lot of Natty or nots have been made of her over the years. This is the physique that she won with, if I recall correctly, although I definitely could be wrong on that. Her physique in her prime, just ridiculous fucking delt separation, sick core, fucking yoked all over. Chick looks absolutely nutty. Fucking absurd, dude. Now again, is it just like her sick ab genetics that are making her look more jacked like fucking, Lil Uzi Vert, the guy who is probably Natty, and a lot of people say, oh, look how juiced this guy is just because he got some mass everywhere and has some sick abdominal separation. Is it a similar thing with Dana Linn Bailey, or is she in fact a sauce fiend? Well, let's look at some of the historical data. So obviously she dials in pretty fucking, hard for these shows. She's a female, which is very hard to get this simultaneously jacked and lean, holding this kind of tissue with the equivalent of like 50 nanogram per deciliter total test levels. And then, when you diet down, those get driven into the ground through suppression of your HbOA if you're a female, and maintaining all this size going into the competitions, competing against people who are admittedly not Natty. Not every single person, obviously, but a lot of people she's competed against are not Natty, and they're, pretty open about it. She is, I don't know, is she just a genetic fucking elite? Yeah, she is, of course. Don't get me wrong. She's an absolute specimen and a half. And that's why she won. But was it natural and the competitors against her were enhanced, or at least some of them, and they just have shit genetics, or what's the deal? Look at this back double bi, bro. Fucking mean. There's shits on a lot of dudes, realistically. So anyways, let's get into, it's kind of funny because with, Dana Linn Bailey's, the fucking Ulysses, the Simeons, it's like when you type in their name into a database at this point, it's like 50% stuff about how they inspire or whatever, or their sick physique. And then 50% it's just like Natty or not. So if you go to Reddit, I did a, recently search to see if her, Natty claim, was trending on Reddit. So she has a subreddit here. She's most mentioned in hard bodies and bodybuilding, I guess. And the most recent blown up thread, Dana Linn Bailey, Natty or juice from 3 days ago. Fake Natty flare. Other posts. The most recent one, big arm subreddit 3 days ago with no comments. CF girl is not safe for work. Dana Linn Bailey makes me come. That'll get fucking clipped for sure, bro. Definitely not saying that. Dana Linn Bailey only fucks alpha studs, apparently. Anyway, so pretty infrequently mentioned in the subreddits, I guess. But then, she claims Natty and boom, fucking blown up. Over 150 comments. We have the picture I showed you guys already. These influencers should be sued for false claims in advertising, especially when they're selling programs claiming you can achieve that without PEDs. Yeah, she has her own sup line, so it's a money grab. Anyone that believes a pro athlete has never taken steroids is living in dream world. There comes a point in every pro athlete's life where they have second, third, fourth, fifth place in one hand and PEDs in the other. Let's see what other top comments we have. Someone needs to step in and stop, whether at the social media outlets or government. Hell, even John Censor claims Natty. It's pathetic. And John Cena, and it's pathetic. And if I ever were to run into them, I would call him out. I'm pretty sure Cena only claimed that he never failed a drug test, or is that me dreaming? No, he definitely claimed Natty in a couple vids. Of course he does. Yeah, but sad thing is people that don't know much about PEDs, or hell, people that haven't been working out for that long, or newbies, or don't know how the freaking human body works, etc., actually fall for and believe a lot of these bullshit claims, and influencers know that and they really milk it to their advantage, lol. I agree, false advertising is a serious business malpractice. I've been saying this for years, the fitness industry is getting away with murder, exclamation mark. So true, agreed, ha ha ha, and all fucking, how is this one of the most upvoted comments? Well, I guess just laughing at the fucking fact that she says she's Natty. Sir, I'll have you know that this is 17 years, mind blown, of consistent training, flex emoji, and diet, fucking chicken drumstick, and a platter of veggies. I have also been an athlete, gold medal, since I was 5 years old. baby emoji, and went in to play college soccer ball. You need to be very consistent, 100, and very patient fucking praying, because it takes time. Look at the fucking clock. All my females out there, do not go for quick results, like pinning in your ass. It's not worth it for all the side effects. Dead emoji that you live with for the rest of your life. Heartbreak, crying face. Laugh my ass off, or laugh my fucking ass off aggressively. Sorry, the emojis though. Emojifier bot. Why am I fucking reading these still? Irony alert, she's popping Anavar like candy, as natty as that grass, which is indeed fake turf by the looks of it. So anyways, I wanted to see what kind of natty or nots were done on her, because I've never done one. And I just assumed it would be like a heavily covered one, because she's, you know, one of the prime fucking fitness influencers for the female side. Greg Doucette 2 years ago, Linn Bailey in hospital, rhabdomyolysis from CrossFit or steroids. Linn Bailey, natty or not. Jason Blahas, how to spot a fake natty. Linn Bailey, exposing a fake natty female edition. Linn Bailey plus Michelle Lewin. Oh yeah, by the way, if you haven't seen, I will transition into explaining this. This is like the even more cranked alternative Linn Bailey. It's like evil Linn Bailey. Not that this chick's evil. It's just like, if you were to have like a movie, I feel like the protagonist could easily be Linn Bailey, and then her like fucking super villain, like opposite like protagonist, or not antagonist, would be this chick, Kristen Nunn. I did the video on her. It's funny because I talk about agonists and antagonists and shit all the time in a pharmacology context, but I literally had to go Google if that's what it fucking was, protagonist and antagonist in a movie. But anyways, one of the most notable things I thought was interesting is Nick Strength and Power doing a natty or not. I didn't know he fucking did them, but apparently he did. Linn Bailey claims natty, ... again. And he put it in brackets 2016, which is kind of interesting because like, isn't the video already, it's posted in 2016. So like, I'm not really, I don't know. Anyway, so there was like a in-person podcast thing with Mark Bell, and they're talking about, you know, natty status. In a recent interview on Mark Bell's Powercast, Linn Bailey and her husband Rob Bailey once again insist that DLB is all natural and completely drug-free. What are your thoughts, guys? So we are going to go through this one because Nick Strength and Power presents some interesting insights that I thought were interesting just to see from his channel and just to see how far back this really goes with, you know, the historical natty or nots and shit, because I wasn't even posting on YouTube at this time. So anyways, let's get into it.
Like, well, George, listen, bro. Like, Dana's natty, and no one ever believes us, and that's fine. If I wasn't fucking married to her, I wouldn't believe it either. But if you're prepping her,
by the way, just because you're married to somebody, or you're dating somebody, or even your fucking mom and dad that you live with, or whatever, what's the probability that you're going to be entirely truthful with your significant other, with your, you know, best friends, with your fucking mom and dad, with whoever? People lie out their fucking teeth, dude, all the time. People will even lie to their goddamn coach, who is supposed to be totally confidential about what drugs they're taking, because they want to push the envelope and, you know, eke out some more shit. If you're going to be competing on an Olympia stage against people who are sauced, you're not being drug tested, your entire fucking outcome is dependent on you maintaining muscle tissue and getting as goddamn dry and lean as possible. I don't know, bro. Let's keep going.
realize that you can't throw any weird shit in at the last minute to pull her together. Like, if you don't bring her in shape, I'm going to fucking put you on blast.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I believe you, man. I believe you. Like, we'll prep her natty. And I was like, I don't trust you. So then, like, 6 months later, he saw us again, and I started talking to him more, and I was like, all right, cool, man, I trust you. And, like, super simple fucking diet. And he's one of the few people that actually believes that she's natural.
Well, he's, like, we've trained together several times, so he's, like, I mean, the way I train, like, if anyone watches videos,
it's
like,
exhausting.
I would have been on stage with Iris Kyle if I was on anything. Like,
huh?
Right.
I would have blew up.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the only person that actually believed me, and so
When you train.
All right, so Iris Kyle, if you don't know, former Miss Olympia in the bodybuilding division. So let us go look at what that is compared to, so we have Linn Bailey here, hitting these fucking bicep shots, 3D delts popping, fucking abdominal separation of the gods right here, delt cap on point. Fucking mean, dude. Look at that trap. So anyways, here we have Iris Kyle, which is presumably the most accomplished female bodybuilder of all time, competing in an entirely different category than Linn Bailey, and basically has a better physique than, you know, a lot of fucking top male bodybuilders, to be honest, looking absolutely ruthless. Fucking insane physique, and, you know, just to spitball and be like, I train so fucking hard, if I took gear, I would be fucking standing with Iris Kyle on stage and, you know, hanging with her and winning the, you know, Miss Olympia bodybuilding competition. It's like, I don't know how you can just like come out and say that, you know? You're just like, yeah, I just work that fucking hard. It's guaranteed if I took gear, I would be up at the top with the most genetic hyper responder to gear ever. Like I can just predict with perfect accuracy what my response to drugs will be, because I've never taken them, you know? And I already know how my muscle bellies would look on stage, how they would respond to fucking exogenous androgens. I know exactly what would happen, and I definitely would be the best women's bodybuilder of all time if I took this shit. You know, if you didn't know, I would be the cream of the crop of the open fucking bodybuilding division for women.
Do you do a lot of sets or workouts long, heavy?
It's
which way?
Heavy, long,
combination
drop
of
sets.
Combination of everything, huh?
Everything.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, is a lot of people, bodybuilders, don't want to talk about, they will, you know, lie about their dosages. Most male bodybuilders who are, you know, actual professionals will know how ridiculous it sounds at this point to claim they're natty, so they will, you know, be relatively transparent about the fact that they're not natty. But the new, you know, fake natty is the guy who lies about their dosages to make them seem like they have better genetics, to not underplay their hard work, to just make everything seem more responsible that they're doing, and they don't need to push the envelope as aggressively as they may in order to achieve their outcomes. And again, like, this seems to be the cop-out of a lot of individuals is, oh, you know how hard I train? It's like, dude, like, how fucking hard is it to walk into the gym, get on an incline bench press, go to fucking failure? Like, it's not that hard. It's not that mentally taxing to fucking hit failure on a bodybuilding exercise. You're not fucking fighting somebody in an MMA cage or something. Like, you are literally hitting muscular failure. Is it that goddamn mentally taxing to do that? Like, yeah, you're gonna fatigue your central nervous system a bit. You're gonna be a little tired. You know, you get a bit of burn, but it's not that fucking hard to train hard. You know, you go into the gym, you hit like fucking 20 working sets or some shit. You know, you hit your last set to failure and, you know, the lifts or whatever, and you fucking leave. It's not that hard. So I'm not sure why everyone's like, oh, like, some people do train like pussies and, you know, they, you know, take the reps in reserve thing to way too much of an extreme, and they end up, you know, training half-assed as fuck and not even getting close to failure. But that's a totally different subject. People who have like a reasonable idea of like what actual like good intensity is know how to train hard. It's not that fucking difficult to get your mind into a state of allowing you to push past some level of uncomfortability to a point where you hit muscular failure. It's not like it's so uncomfortable that you're dealing with like the mental taxation of like achieving, like passing some pain threshold that's just absurd when you're in like a fucking 10 to 12 rep range. You know, it's not like you're doing like 100 rep like squat or some shit. Like, okay, if you did that every single time you went in the gym, maybe I might be like, okay, you're training some next level shit. Obviously unnecessary, by the way. But when you're doing just like basic bodybuilding shit and you're preparing for like a figure Olympia or something, like, let's not pretend that training in the gym is like the hardest fucking thing ever. Like, there's so many more demanding things in the realm of athletics than hitting a fucking 12 rep set on a bicep curl. Let's continue.
I like
Can you
training.
do some of our workouts, Rob?
I lose interest.
All right, so Nick Strength and Power wrote this himself. The following photos are from the peak of Dana Linn Bailey's competitive career at the Miss Olympia competition, the highest level of competition for athletes of her type. Inferior competitors in her sport that compete in lesser shows, even amateur shows, have admitted to the use of performance enhancers, and her male counterparts at the Olympia level have, for the most part, entirely admitted to the use of performance enhancers among all athletes at this level. You decide, is this a natural level of muscularity for a female? It's like the most... He basically lays it all fucking out for you, and then he asks a question because he's a nice guy. He doesn't want to totally shit on her, obviously. So here we go. Let's see. Oh, he's letting me read it. I should have fucking fast forwarded. Boom. Fucking classic bicep flex with the mean concentration face. Christmas Tree City. Look at that fucking rear double with the fucking hands up, bro. That's like the female back double, if you didn't know. Just absolute ridiculous fucking striations on point, separation, 3D-ness. Obviously nothing like Iris Kyle, obviously, but it's because she's natty, of course, not because she's, you know, because she's fucking Natty. She's not on gear. Like, you fucking idiot. Why would you think she's on gear? She works harder than you. Don't you fucking know that? Let's continue. All right, next pose. What do we got here? Let's go, buddy. Boom. Front ab crunch with the fucking quad stomp. The Jay Cutler quad stomp, bro. Fucking money ab insertions, bro. Like, how many chicks have this kind of six-pack development? Look at these dialed in lines. Like, this is like, not even to be like mean, like this is not mean, like this is like representative of her insane development. She has like a male quality six-pack. Like, it's fucking deep and lean and symmetrical and absurd. Whereas a lot of chicks in the fitness industry, you know, they have like a toned stomach and you see like definition lines, but nothing like a cutout, fucking carved from stone Greek statue of a six-pack. Like, this is very impressive. And, you know, you can see why in the, like, obviously the size requirements have increased proportionally as years go on, just, you know, with any division. Men's physique, first year. Compare the guy who won in that year and the guys, you know, who were in the top 10, and compare that to now. It's like night and fucking day how big the guys are. But this was more than sufficient at the time to win the whole thing. And then it begs the question, you know, obviously the requirements were smaller back then, so could you have gotten away with being a genetic hyper elite naturally and still won? Well, let's see if there's any more pictures. Boom, front double. Quad. Look at this fucking separation, bro. It's like the ventroglute slash, like, what is this, bro? Like, I know what it is, but it's like, holy. So anyways, was it a deserved win? Like, I don't know, like, I didn't watch it, to be honest, but I can just evaluate her physique, you know, next to the other competitors who are, a lot of them admittedly not natural, and she is competing at the highest level, winning the highest level show there is. Maintaining her fucking size and conditioning is absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, just the physique development in general, is this representative of a natural female? Fuck no, dude. Fuck no. Like, in my opinion, this is definitely enhanced, and I think at this point, she's just in too deep of a hole to get herself out. I think if she came in first, you know, in a modern age, she'd probably be more open about it, is what I think. I think a lot of these individuals, you know, the Steve Cooks of the world, the Dana Linn Baileys, the fucking Ulysses. Now, Steve Cook has, you know, basically come out and claimed like half unnatty at this point. He's like, oh yeah, I used like HCG before. And, you know, I used to, you know, I didn't want to push the envelope with men's physique to, you know, maintain the standard. You know, he has like subtle implying shit over the years, but, you know, he's been pretty fucking closeted about it and used to be, you know, a pretty strong proponent of, you know, the natty lifestyle. And a lot of people were back then. You know, it's not limited to just him, but basically, you know, people like Ulysses, Simeon, her, people who have been claiming natty since fucking Nam, have essentially no choice but to keep themselves in this hole they've dug. Unless they want to, like, I guess that, you know, people would respect them more if they were transparent. I can't say for certain she's not natty, by the way. I'm just saying, based on what I see, the evidence, like even Nick Strength and Power, you know, laid it out pretty succinctly. I think that was a reasonably good explanation. Like, do I need to fucking say more? Despite the fact that I already have. But for me, I'm pretty on board with his statements, and I would also conclude not natty. You know, that's what I think. I am shocked that she even addresses these questions, because she knows the massive amount of heat she's gonna get. And I don't know, does she like want to stir the pot? You know, get a fucking, you know, mega thread made about her and natty her juice? Does she want to get videos made and then just, you know, claim people are haters because she works so hard? I don't know. She does have superior genetics, and that's what makes a Olympia winner on gear win. You know, everyone at the Olympia essentially is on gear. You know, and the individuals who win, what is the likelihood that they're just a genetic hyper elite and is going to exceed their other drug using counterparts whilst being natty? Fucking like astronomically low is that's my best description. So no, I don't think she's natty. I think she's a fucking specimen and a half, though. I think she's great. Genetically, I think she's just kind of fucked at this point for trying to, you know, her transparency and, you know, credibility might be in question if she comes out at this point, given the many, many years of being like, I'm fucking natty, guys. So that's my opinion. You know, I could be totally wrong. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And if you want to get some insight onto actual safer approaches to female enhancement, I highly recommend you check out my Kristen Nunn steroid cycle video, what I think she takes, plus PEDs for women breakdown. I elaborate on non-viralizing vectors of performance enhancement that can be leveraged. A lot of things that go very overlooked that are no-brainer, very, very easy things, like even shit as basic as creatine, you know? There's stuff that can be utilized, and I'm not, you know, it's not just limited to creatine. Like if you're a girl who's watching this, there's probably shit in there you've never even heard of. Highly recommend you check out Kristen Dunn's steroid cycle video, as well as SARM's Girl Returns. I have kind of rebutted this chick taking RAD 140 kind of haphazardly and discussed all of the non-viralizing anabolic vectors that could be leveraged before deferring to something like an Anavar or like an Ostarine or anything that uses the androgen receptor to induce protein synthesis. I would recommend looking at those vectors first because they have absolutely nothing to do with androgen receptor agonism, and they work through entirely separate means that are far more safe from a androgenicity context. They won't deepen your voice, they won't cause facial hair growth, they won't masculinize the fuck out of you and cause permanent changes that are otherwise very difficult to reverse. You know, it doesn't take very much to cause viralization in women. Even things that are seen as benign, like, you know, 10 milligrams of Anavar for months on end will fuck you up eventually. You know, maybe you get lucky, maybe it doesn't happen, but in general, even things as low doses of Anavar, if you're not talking about single digit dosages, dude, like you're probably looking at viralizing outcomes. Like think about the cumulative exposure of 10 milligrams of Anavar per day. That's 70 milligrams a week. The average male produces like fucking 40 to 50 milligrams of test per day. Now again, Anavar obviously far more tissue selective than endogenous testosterone, but it still has androgenicity and does not have entire tissue selectivity where you can get away with it at fucking 70 milligrams a week for months on end without having any viralizing outcomes at all. You will encounter masculinization, unfortunately, with this shit. And fortunately, there are alternatives that are often overlooked, but are far more benign in an androgenicity context, entirely void of androgenicity entirely, and can actually eke out a decent amount of muscle above and beyond a natural baseline and get you to a point where if you do leverage the anabolics, the actual androgen receptor and agonists, you will need such a fucking little amount, or none at all ideally, where you can get away with non-viralizing outcomes and still achieve, you know, the performance enhancing outcomes you seek. Now again, I'm not advising you do that, and like ideally, like for most individuals that aren't fucking competing, the likelihood that you even need to look at anabolics is so fucking low to get, you know, your favorite, you know, fitness model type physique, your fucking, you know, buff bunnies of the world or whatever. You don't need to take fucking Anavar or, you know, SARMs to do that. You can look at things that are totally non-viralizing and totally benign in that aspect. So definitely check out those videos if you are a chick who has no idea about any of this stuff. Even birth control information. How many chicks are on combined oral contraceptives and have no idea what it's doing to their total and free test levels? Watch my video. Very, very informative and deep dives into some of the stuff that you probably have no idea is going on with your hormones when you take that shit and what it's doing to your muscle building and fat loss goals. So anyways, and if you're a guy who, you know, is dating a chick who's interested in fitness, bodybuilding stuff, physique development, highly recommend you watch those two videos too. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully you learned something from those two videos I'm talking about. I'll put up a card in the corner to Kristen Dunn's steroid cycle. Editor, please put it up there, as well as a card to SARM's Girl Returns. I'll put a card up in the corner as well. And let me know what you guys think about the fucking Dana Linn Bailey situation and her claims. Do you think it's possible she's natty and everyone's just a hater, or what? Let me know what you think. All the comments help the algorithm. They're much appreciated. Like, subscribe, check out my blog. MorePlatesMoreDates.com. Follow me on Instagram at MorePlatesMoreDates, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. My TRT clinic, all telemedicine from the comfort of your own home. Get high quality medical oversight from doctors who understand biomarkers, diagnostics, what you should be ordering to begin with, especially if you are, for example, talking about the female angle again, if you are premenopausal, peri, post, whatever it is, if you have a mom who's menopausal, this kind of shit is next level for HRT clinics. They barely understand, a lot of these cookie cutter clinics barely understand how to prescribe TRT properly. They give you a cookie cutter script of test, HCG and astrazole, kick you out the door and get the next one in. They barely know what they're doing with men. And when it comes to females, fucking scary shit going on right now. So I highly recommend you get a high quality doctor in your camp, not just for your own sake, but for your loved ones, significant others, whatever it is, regardless if you're natural, on hormones, whatever it is, we do it all, we're turnkey, and we are always on the cutting edge of staying up to date with the literature, you know, things like, you know, what kind of administration techniques should be used for estrogen? How should you be compounding it? Should you be using a synthetic estrogen Analog, would you be using bioidentical? Why? What's inflammatory through application method? Why would that be the case? What's more benign on your lipid profile? What's more benign on SHBG? All this kind of shit is stuff that we deal with at our clinic, and you will not, frankly, I would be surprised if you find anywhere else, to be honest. So, like, there are good clinics doing good shit out there. It's just, unfortunately, the majority are just out there to make markups on medications, and we pride ourselves on our diagnostics and education, and that's where we make our money, not on the markups on a fucking vial of tests. So anyways, check that out. If you want high quality doctor in your camp, highly recommend you do. And anything else I'm associated with that helps support the channel, it is all in the video description below. Clothing company that sponsors me, recommended diet model for gaining muscle and sports performance, while also being mindful of micronutrient intake, gut health, sleep hygiene, etc. And anything else I'm associated with, it is all in the video description below. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.